The story begins on a rainy night when lots of monsters lying around. Together the rain is a continuous lightning strike. "Qin Feng, you're really something," a lady uttered. This lady was holding a dagger that had a purple flame coming out from its edge. The guy he calls Qin Feng was above a huge monster. Feng was suffering in pain, and it turned out he was betrayed by the lady. As per the lady, even a 100-fold accelerated aging effect, Feng still managed to clear the ancient god's ruins. She mentioned that she will take the divine artifact, which is the Eye of Judgment. Feng was coughing. He was disappointed, asking his sister why she betrayed him at times like this. His sister's name is Qin Xiaoyou. He reminded her they were sister and brother. The lady isn't guilty at all. She was holding the artifact while telling Feng that he's just nothing but an adopted child her parents took in, and they don't share her blood, which is why she doesn't want him to be her brother. "Xiaoyou, that's no way to talk. This so-called brother of mine sure came in handy," a guy said. Xiaoyou was so excited looking at him, and she called him by his name song file. Xiaoyou handed him the artifact. They then thanked Feng as they now had the divine artifact because of him. As per the lady, she went through great lengths to obtain the soul-stealing blade that is now stabbed into Feng's body to completely drain his lifespan in one go. Of course, Feng was so mad at her. He raised her after their parents passed, supported her through school, and after the game descended upon their world, he risked his life countless times for her. "I really misjudged you, my dear sister," he uttered. But for all his kindness, Xiaoyou only sees it negatively. For her, Feng kept interest in her life, bossing her around and controlling her. She added that when she and Song Fei needed his protection, he would still be somewhat useful. But now that they have the divine artifact, his value is useful for them. Song Fei then charged at him while saying, "Qin Feng, just die in peace already. I will take good care of Xiaoyou for you." Feng screamed in anger. He swore that he wouldn't let them get away with this even if he died. Song Fei then beheaded him without any hesitation. In 2025, the godforsaken game descended. As long as a person falls asleep, they will be forcibly pulled into the game world. The only currency in the game is lifespan. Dying causes a loss of lifespan, while killing monsters grants lifespan. Players can spend lifespans to bring their in-game abilities into the real world. The strong can tear apart tanks with their bare hands, slice through planes with a sword, and even withstand nuclear beasts with their own bodies. From that moment, the world changed drastically, and chaos spread. Feng struggled to survive with his sister, enduring countless hardships, barely making it into the top 100 global powerhouses. After overcoming endless dangers and barely escaping death countless times, he finally conquered the ancient god's ruins. Feng obtained the divine artifact, an Eye of Judgment. At last, he has the qualifications to reach the peak. But who would have thought the price of his success was the betrayal of his only family? So all his efforts in life amounted to nothing but interference. So all his struggles only paved the way for someone else's success. Feng refused to accept this destiny of his, and he was hoping he could live again so he could only fight for himself. Surprisingly, Feng woke up from a deep sleep. He was dumbfounded and immediately rose. "Where is this? The real world?" he asked despite knowing that no one could give him an answer. He opened his phone, but he was confused since he was sure he died at the hands of Song Fei. Then, he found out that the year is still 2025. He looks at the window and concludes that he was reborn back to 9 years ago, the day the godforsaken game descended. Meanwhile, his sister Xiaoyou arrived from school. She was mad and kicked the door with a grumpy face. "Qin Feng, you really are home. Why didn't you answer my call?" she angrily asked. She kicked the garbage while complaining about what happened to her. Gung at the same time recalled that Qin Xiaoyou had a big fight with him because of Song Fei on the day the Forsaken game descended. Before the game descended, Song Fei was a somewhat famous underground idol, and Xiaoyou was his obsessed fan. Song Fei seems glamorous on the surface, but in reality, he's a complete scumbag who has tricked many of his female fans out of money and their bodies. To prevent Xiaoyou from being scammed, Feng has always forbidden her from hanging around Song Fei, but in the end, he is accused of controlling her life. "Hey, are you deaf? I'm talking to you. Why are you acting like you can't hear me? It's all because of you that my brother dropped off the top rank this month. If you don't give me money to rank up, I'll..." Xiaoyou said with annoyance, but before she could complete her words, Feng slapped her very hard, causing the lady to fall on the ground. Her nose bleeds. She was shaking in pain. She was crying and her face got reddish. She was in disbelief that her brother Feng really hit her. Qin Xiaoyou, I don't have the time or mood to argue with you today. But if you keep barking at me, I'll smash that mouth of yours, Feng stated. She throws an ATM card to the lady's head while telling her it's the money left by their parents, and he doesn't touch even a single cent. He decided to return everything to her, and he told her he wouldn't stoop to her level for their parents' sake. He entered his room, and before he closed the door, he declared that he would have no sister like Xiaoyou from now on. The lady was out of words. She was crying while holding her painful cheek. In the past life of Feng, to protect Xiaoyou, he missed too many opportunities, too many secret treasures and dungeons that needed risk-taking exploration. He gave up on. He's also curious, without this burden, how far he can go. He then swallowed a sleeping pill while telling himself that this time, he would use his understanding of the game from his past life to stay ahead of everyone and let Xiaoyou on her own now. And of course, he vowed to personally take Song Fei's head. When he fell asleep, his senses teleported to the game world. He was currently at the Career Choice Hall. He missed the place, and he remembered the first time he came here when he was so nervous that it took him several hours to complete his career choice and leave. This time, he wants to be quicker. In his past life, he chose the warrior to protect Xiaoyou. The warrior wasn't weak, but he knew it was not the right fit for him anymore. Without Qin Xiaoyou's burden, he believes he will now be able to clear solo much faster. Knowing that mobility and reaction time are the most important, he immediately decided what to choose. This life, I choose assassin, he proclaimed. To his surprise, a system notification proclaimed that the divine artifact Eye of Judgment had been successfully bound. The Eye of Judgment was instantly activated. As per the system, he has a unique attribute, which is the authority of judgment. When entering the Forsaken game, he will automatically gain the highest rank profession and talent. He was so happy that it turned out the Eye of Judgment had bound itself to him after his rebirth. He concludes that as long as the artifact recognizes its master, even if it's stolen, it's useless. Perhaps he was reborn because of it. A shadow suddenly appeared and wrapped him. A voice then congratulated him for gaining a hidden profession. It was currently specialized and was completed in just a few seconds. A voice then declared he now became a shadow. Feng was surprised, but he knows this is the highest tier hidden profession for assassins. Completely different from the warrior he chose in his previous life. Just gaining this profession gives him such power. Every profession has a very small chance of unlocking its hidden higher-tier profession, and the authority of judgment actually makes this probability a certainty. But Feng was wondering what exactly it is. According to the system, the authority of judgment is the most genuine and ancient primal authority in the universe. Its power surpasses rules and order. But Feng temporarily cannot actively activate this authority, as he does not possess divinity, but its passive effect is active. In his previous life, it wasn't until the 7th year after the godforsaken game descended that a strong player managed to leave God's abandoned realm and reach the realm of order. Only then did humanity learn about the existence of order's power. But in fact, even years, no one ever obtained the power of order. Now, he never expected at the start of his journey he had already gained the primal authority that surpasses order and rules. He was positive he could activate this authority as long as he could leave God's abandoned realm and reach the realm of order to obtain divinity. Because of this, it looks like he has another goal in this life. The system appeared and told him that he could now enter the game alias since the profession choice was completed. And since his profession is born from the shadow, he decided to use shadow as his alias. After that, he's entering God's abandoned realm, a ruined land filled with countless monsters. The system warned Feng that monsters in this land were always ready to tear him apart and steal his lifespan. As per the system, he must leave the town and kill monsters to earn a tradable lifespan. But if he dies in the game, he will lose half of his lifespan, both tradable and non-tradable. When he finally entered, he landed at the Shell Town, a safe zone area where there are no monsters, and players in this game cannot attack each other. The lifespan loss speed is ×1. When he arrived, many people had already been pulled into the game. Most of the people were clueless and confused since they ended up here after they fell asleep. Feng was aware that powerful figures from various countries would appear soon one after another, reshaping the order of this world. If they want to be ahead of those powerful figures, they can't wait, and for Feng, practice doesn't wait for anyone. Feng was startled when 4 people dropped in front of him, and said they would return to the town once they died. These men were complaining that monsters were hard to deal with. One of these 4 people is a lady, and he calls her sister Lizzie. They asked him what they should do, but the lady didn't reply when she saw Feng. Feng at the same time concludes that Lizzie is also a hidden class since she was an archer and archers start with short bows. Lizzie stood and greeted Feng. "You seem to be a hidden class too. Want to team up with us? The monsters outside are really strong. We can't handle them alone. Our team has been wiped out once. We have experience," she said. But for Feng, their experience is only being killed. He then refused to accept the offer and walked away. The guys were mocking him as they saw him as a guy who was just pretending to be a pro. The lady, on the other hand, checked his alias, and after that, she uttered that this alias Shadow was just acting high. Of course, a part of her was curious to see what an assassin could do alone, so she told her comrades to go and follow the assassin guy and see what skills he has. She was also expecting that by watching someone fight against monsters, they could possibly get some new info about monsters and also see how an assassin died. Feng continued to walk despite knowing he was being followed. The land abandoned by gods, this place is far too eerie, far too perilous. He doesn't know why he ended up here, but with years of online gaming experience, he quickly formed a party. Yet, the very first monster they encountered outside the beginner village wiped them out. That was absolutely not an enemy a level 1 player could defeat. Right now, the party that follows him notices his starting weapon, which is different from the assassin with them. Their comrade has a dagger, but they see Feng has a short blade. Not only that, but one of them also noticed that Feng was faster than him as an assassin, but he was sure his agility was the highest. Plus, Feng's outfit is also different from theirs. For the lady, Feng, as a shadow player, seems highly unusual, and she's afraid that following him might lead to crucial intel. Feng slowly turned his head to the side, which scared the lady that he might have noticed her. It turned out Feng activated his shadow sneak ability and instantly vanished. The party behind him was shocked. And the assassin concludes he used a stealth skill, a starting skill that grants invisibility. The lady then decided that they should go back to town and search for ways to improve themselves. Also, she's aware that they're in a dangerous place, and their remaining lifespan has been halved. Feng was indeed using a shadow stealth ability. He would enter stealth for a duration once activated. Attacking will reveal him, and the first strike after breaking stealth deals increases damage. Once mastered, this ability would double stealth duration and increase stealth level by 1. Feng was satisfied after confirming that his stealth ability was extraordinary since those 4 people weren't able to see him after activation. From what he knew, a normal assassin's stealth at this level would be easy to detect. But the Shadow class has its unique stealth mastery, making it impossible for anyone or even monsters to notice him in the early game. For Feng, those 4 people are just naive fools for not realizing that the beginner town has nothing that can actually improve their strength, but only just a shelter for players. He knew that in this Forsaken game, weak players are nothing but prey monsters. After a few seconds, Feng noticed that his stealth was ending, which meant that the duration of this ability wasn't that long. But the good thing is that the cooldown starts as soon as he activates stealth, just a few more seconds, and he can vanish again. Feng checked his status, and it turned out he's currently level 1 with 75-75-year non-tradable lifespan. His tradable lifespan is 0, and his strength and constitution points are 10 plus 3. His current agility points are 10 plus 8, while his spirit points are 10 plus 5. According to Feng, all players start with base stats of 10 with different classes granting additional bonuses. His warrior in his life only got plus 3 to strength and constitution, but this time, the Shadow class grants boosts to every stat. And agility is boosted by a whooping plus 8. Feng has 5 points to allocate. Most players dump their points into strength or spirit to boost physical or magic attack power, but for Feng, it is a huge mistake. He decided to allocate these 5 points to his agility, making it plus 13 in total. Feng was sure that agility was the key. He believes that in the early game, no matter how players allocate their stats, monsters will always deal overwhelming damage to players. The only way to kill monsters without taking damage is to boost agility and increase speed. All of a sudden, Feng heard someone screaming. He immediately followed the voice and heard someone hiding in the tree. Upon checking, he confirmed it was a level 1 crawler with a normal evolving grade. Feng was surprised upon seeing it. He believes it was still absorbing lifespan, so he concludes it is the monster who wiped out that four-player party. Judging from its wounds, Feng deduces that those players didn't manage to take a chunk of its hip. When monsters kill players, they gain the player's lifespan. If they absorb enough, they can evolve. The monster tried to attack Feng, but Feng managed to dodge. Feng stared at the monster, and the monster charged back at him. Feng then jumped higher at a fast speed. The monster didn't notice where he was, so he seized the opportunity and attacked the monster using his stealth break strike. In just one strike, he instantly slain the crawler by dealing 174 damage. He gained 10 experience points, and he was surprised since he never expected a one-shot kill. He was sure that attacking a crawler's nape triggers a critical hit, but for him, his damage dealt was really insane. The system then notifies that it was a backstab attack, and as per the system, if the attack comes from outside the enemy's vision, the damage is doubled. Feng then understood where the huge damage dealt came from. He concludes that with multiple skills with a backstab stack, he would possibly create a terrifying damage multiplier. Feng got silent for a moment. He then remembered back when he played as a warrior. Even a critical hit barely did 40 damage, and he had to struggle for ages to kill a crawler, nearly dying in the process. That time, he was very happy together with Xiaoyou collecting the lifespan he got from the monster. Now he obtained it alone. The system then declared he gained 3 days of tradable lifespan, plus 54 years and 155 days of non-tradable lifespan. As per Feng, 5 people died, each losing at least 20 to 30 years, which should add up to over 100 years. But since the crawler absorbed it first, he only got 54 years from it, but it was fine for him, knowing that a non-tradable lifespan isn't useful for now. All of a sudden, his Eye of Judgment's authority was activated, and the system congratulated him for obtaining a new talent, Infinite Evolution. This is a primal talent where he can have a chance to earn evolution points to upgrade skill when killing monsters solo. In addition, he will gain 5 evolution points every 24 hours, and defeating a boss-class monster solo guarantees evolution points. Right now, his current evolution point is 5. Of course, Feng was shocked that he obtained an infinite evolution and could upgrade skills, since in his past life, he never heard of anything like this. No matter what gear or skill book dropped from monsters, he believes its grade was fixed, there was no way to improve it. He concludes that this power is beyond rules and order. He immediately decided to test it out and upgraded the Shadow Sneak and Backstab without any hesitation. As per the system, he spent 4 evolution points and the upgrade was successful. His Shadow Sneak is now bronze from normal. Its stealth duration increased from 12 seconds to 16 seconds. Its breaking stealth attack bonus increased from 60 to 90, and its cooldown reduced from 28 seconds to 26 seconds. For his Backstab, it is now normal from inferior. Its passive attack from behind now deals 15% more damage from 10%. Feng was satisfied that his Shadow Sneak now lasted 16 seconds, and with Stealth Mastery, that's doubled to 32 seconds. With such an extended stealth duration, he was sure he could now maintain permanent invisibility. He concludes that he could have one-shot even a full-ho crawler if his skills had been upgraded earlier. While walking, Feng heard someone from behind saying, "Look at that scrawny guy taking down a monster solo. I told you this game was easy." He then turned around and checked the people. He saw a man and a lady. The lady told her guy companion that he was amazing, as she believed that this guy could take on 10 people with his physique. The guy then confidently promised to protect her at all costs. Feng flinched the moment he saw a monster heading their way. "Hey man, you look like you're struggling alone. Want me to carry you?" the guy asked. Feng didn't respond and just hid himself using his stealth ability. He knows that the monster coming is a nurturer. The lady then said that the guy in front of them, which was Feng, had disappeared. The guy laughed as he thought Feng was intimidated by his ripped muscles. Then, they noticed something moving behind them, a huge spider. They turned around and screamed in fear. It turned out Feng was right. The monster is a level 1 nurturer, bronze grade. It's not just one, but numerous nurturers, and some were normal grades. Feng still remembers that the nurturer is a beginner boss with around 1,600 HP, not something a normal rookie can handle. And it has all these little spiders under its command. Feng wasn't in fear. In fact, he sees this as a perfect opportunity to see how strong his upgraded skills are. He charged at the bronze nurturer and attacked it using his stealth break strike. The nurturer screamed in agony. Feng attacks it once more, then activates his shadow sneak to hide. As per the system, Feng dealt 338 weak point attack damage. He is grateful that his agility is high enough. He concludes he would have been instantly killed if the nurturer hit him with only 130 HP. On the other hand, he was amazed when he dealt 300 damage. The boss spider was mad, hitting the trees near it. Feng was aware that this monster was already enraged. He also knew that these monsters were intelligent. They wouldn't just stand there and take hits. He deduces that the spider is attacking indiscriminately to pinpoint his location, and those little spiders are on alert now, so he can't just rush in recklessly anymore. Right now, he was guessing something. He threw a rock and hit the spider. Just as he thought, his main damage output comes from Stealth's ambush strike bonus and class skill enhancements. So even throwing a rock at the enemy still deals solid damage. All he has to do is to wait for Shadow Sneak to come off cooldown, then throw a rock. He concludes that the rock will trigger ambush strike, backstab, and weak point attack bonuses. After throwing another rock, he dealt 279 weak point attack damage. He then again activates his Shadow Sneak and stays hidden until his Shadow Sneak is off cooldown. After that, he attacked once again and eliminated the boss spider. All the players then received a leaderboard update notification. That is, the player with the alias Shadow has slain the Bronze Nurturer and is the first one to reach level 2. Everyone in the town was shocked since they were still confused about this world while there was already someone who reached level 2. The 4 people earlier who belittled Feng now cannot believe that their expectation of him as weak was wrong. The guy and the lady were also now in the town after they got killed by the spiders. Even them were also shocked, and they concluded that the guy who defeated a boss spider was the one they mocked just a few minutes ago. Right now, Feng collected the spider's lifespan while regretting not killing those small spiders first to get experience points before eliminating the boss. Now, he cannot do anything since the little spiders have already scattered and run away. As per the system, Feng obtained a tradable 46 lifespan. He also obtained a bronze greedy hand skill book plus a bronze corrosive dagger. He had an additional 35 points ATK and an additional 4 points for his AGI. And also, he currently has 2 unlimited evolution points. Feng is more curious about the greedy hand skill book. After learning this skill, Feng can use it on slain monsters, granting a 20% chance to obtain an additional loot reward, and this only requires level 1. Feng didn't expect a bronze boss to drop this Go-tier assassin skill. This skill significantly increases loot acquisition. In the late game, taking down powerful bosses will have a 20% chance of yielding extra loot. Feng remembered in this past life, there was a guy in the Godslayer guild. His combat strength was average, but just because he had this skill, he became one of the most sought-after players. He even had a personal bodyguard escort him everywhere. Feng paused when he realized that he can endlessly boost both the drop rate and loot quantity if he combines it with his unlimited evolution talent, even though the activation rate is 20%. And if he combine it with his unlimited evolution talent, he can endlessly boost both the drop rate and loot quantity. The next day, Xiaoyou went to school early in the morning. She was walking with her female friend. Her friend knows about her war with her brother, but doesn't have an idea that she was slapped. Her friend told her she must call her brother and apologize. She believes that Xiaoyou's brother is mad since it was Xiaoyou's fault after all for skipping their examination just to support Song Fei. Of course, Xiaoyou has pride. She doesn't want to apologize since she believes she didn't do anything wrong. For her, Feng should be the one to apologize to her, and she blamed him that they almost missed the entrance of Song Fei's concert yesterday. Her friend doesn't understand her at all, knowing that Feng treats her so well, and she envies her for having a brother who really cares. All those concerns from Feng are negative for Xiaoyou, as she only sees that Feng is always meddling in her business all day long. She proclaimed that Song Fei was the only one enough for her. Her friend changed the topic by asking what happened to her face, and to avoid being embarrassed, she lied by saying that she tripped and fell. When they arrived inside the building, they noticed lots of students around their classroom. Xiaoyou's friend was very curious, so she went to the crowd and checked what was going on. It turned out there was a student who was unconscious and was turning semi-transparent. The lady was shocked and asked the guy beside her for some information. The guy then replied that their classmate Zhang Wei had taken a nap, but suddenly became transparent. As per the students, this isn't an isolated case, and it's all over the internet. It seems like people worldwide are experiencing the same phenomenon. Someone also stated that some experts say that as long as someone falls asleep, they'll enter a semi-transparent, phantom-like state. But no one knows why yet. The lady then grabbed her phone to call and warn her parents. Before that, she advises Xiaoyou to call her brother. Still, Xiaoyou doesn't want to contact her brother, and for her, it is better if her brother would just drop dead. Back to Feng's POV, the greedy hand evolution was successful, and it is now bronze type. When looting an enemy, there is a 70% chance of obtaining an extra piece of loot. The system then notifies him that he has learned Greedy Hand +2. He immediately activated it and gained 2 evolution points plus a tradable 46 days of lifespan. Feng was so happy with what he obtained. And according to him, he needed 3 points to evolve his Greedy Hand to +3. And with that, he believes he will have a 100% chance of getting extra loot. Feng then equipped whatever he could use, believing that the world's governments must have caught on to the situation by now, so more and more people would flood into the game, which is why he needed to speed up his progress. He also equipped his bronze corrosive dagger that gives an additional 35 points of attack and 4 points of agility. As per Feng, it won't be long before people realize that the skills and equipment from this game can be extracted into the real world. When that happens, he knows the world will be thrown into chaos. He also stated that extracting skills and equipment requires 2 conditions. First, reaching level 10, and second, having enough tradable lifespan. Since grinding small monsters takes too long, Feng decided to find stronger bosses. When he was about to leave, he heard people fighting monsters below the cliff. He then stood at the cliff and saw players fighting against a bronze grade level 2 sprint predator. Feng was interested in the predator. But then, one of the players fighting with it caught his attention. He knew that this warrior was someone named Wang Meng. He didn't expect he would run into him in this area. He then remembered that there was a rumor that when Wang Meng first entered the Forsaken game, he assembled an entire team of hidden class players. And all his players with him now were hidden class users. Right now, Wang Meng activates a holy barrier. It turned out that his hidden class is a holy shield warrior, which is twice the base stats of a regular warrior, and comes with an innate invincibility skill. A lady in his party activates a flame magic using a wand. She attacks the predator and deals 70 damage. Feng was aware that this lady's hidden class is a prophet who deals double the spell damage of a regular mage, and comes with a built-in prophetic fireball. Aside from those 2 hidden classes, there is also a sharp-eyed shooter archer class hidden profession who has twice the stats of a normal archer, and comes with a built-in rapid shot skill. There is also an oracle priest's hidden profession. This class gives twice the healing power of a regular priest, starting with a group healing skill. They attacked the monster all together while it was charging toward Meng. But they were worried since their ranged attacks weren't hitting because the monster's movement was too fast. The healers continuously heal Meng since Meng commanded them to do it, and he wants everyone else to keep attacking. Seeing Meng chipping away at the monster's health, Feng could say that Meng is surely optimistic. But he was sure that Meng forgot they were in a wild area, so other monsters will be drawn in if a battle drags on. Of course, Feng was right. More monsters are coming. As per Feng, it's a corruptor, a level 2 regular monster covered in dark brown sludge, and it uses ranged attacks. Meng was warned by his colleague to watch out. The guy who warned Meng then attacked the corruptor, and Feng at the same time was looking at this guy since this guy's class is something he hasn't seen before. Unfortunately, the guy only deals 33 damage. He was shaking as he proclaimed that the corruptor's defense was too high. The corruptors spit something. Everyone who was harmed said it stinks, and they felt gross. The guy also stated that it was a ground bind that dropped their movement speed. The lady prophet screamed for help with one corruptor trying to attack her. This time, Feng decided to interfere and beheaded the monster. Everyone was shocked upon seeing it, but of course, they didn't notice who it was since the movement speed of Feng was too fast, plus he used shadow. Feng one-shot the corruptor, and the lady prophet then declared someone was helping them. Even for a level 1 crawler, we usually have to gang up for 10 seconds to take it down. But a level 2 corruptor got one-shot? How is that possible? The guy said, and he was dumbfounded when Feng attacked the corruptor behind him. They were so curious to know who it really was, but Meng told them to stay focused, and he was just hoping that the one who attacked the corruptor was on their side. At this time, Meng believes that only the predator was left. Feng, on the other hand, was above the tree behind Meng. Since Feng eliminated 2 of the corruptors, he received 40 experience points and 1 evolution point. He also received a common venom dart skill book and 8 days tradable lifespan. Feng was aware that a venom dart was a mid-range poison damage skill that was perfect during the fight, and of course, he decided to evolve it immediately. After evolving, it became Silver Venom Dart +2. And as per the system, it is an assassin class skill that throws a deadly poison dart with a max range of 14 meters. It deals 29 attack damage on hit and inflicts venom status. Its cooldown is only 5 seconds, and this requires only level 2 to use by the players. In addition, venom deals 50% continuous damage per second, lasts for 5 seconds, and cannot be stacked. Back to Meng, he was unfortunately stabbed by the monster. The monster lifted him up, and he was screaming in agony. His companions were worried for him, and their healing wasn't enough anymore. Meng looked at his companions and commanded them to run away. But then, someone hit the predator's head. The players were surprised once again since that attack wiped out half the boss monster's HP. The monster was suffering in pain. Its green blood was splattering. He let go of Meng. The attack harmed the predator so badly. It deals so much damage, causing the predator to die. Of course, the attack came from Feng. The system notifies him that he dealt over 90% of the damage, and the loot belongs to him. He gained 600 experience points and reached level 3. He also obtained 2 evolution points plus 55 days tradable lifespan. He used venom darts to attack the boss monster, and he never expected its damage over time to trigger his class's passive ability. With stealth, he believes he can stay invisible and throw darts indefinitely. Nothing in the early and mid-game can stop him. At the same time, the damage he dealt had shocked Meng. He was staring at the loot light in front of him, but it suddenly vanished, so he believes it was looted by the one who killed the predator. He then stood and said, "Friend, may I ask your name? Thank you for saving us." He was shaking in pain, but he bowed his head twice just to show his appreciation. Feng doesn't reveal himself, but he advises Meng to not trust people so easily in the wilderness. Meng decided to leave to respect Feng, checking his loot. Before they left, he introduced his name to Feng. Feng didn't respond at all, but he realizes that Meng is indeed reliable. Plus, he's aware that Meng has the backing of Daxia's government and plenty of resources. Feng then planned to have a stable sale channel, so he could sell his unused loot. When he checked the loot, he gained 3 evolution points and another 55 days tradable lifespan. Plus, he acquired bronze-level Sprint Predator's leather greaves. It's an assassin-class gear that gives an additional 9 points of physical defense, plus 5 all-elemental resistance, and an additional 15% cooldown speed, and this only requires level 2. Feng was satisfied with the loot, and he was planning to fill his bag with plenty of other class gear and skill books to head back to town and trade it for a lifespan. This time, my growth is 100 times faster than my last life. Song Fei, I'll be coming for you soon, he uttered. Right now, Meng and his team only went to another area and still fought monsters. More and more monsters appeared, so Meng commanded them to run if possible. But before they could escape, someone blocked their way. It's a different monster, and seemed to be another boss. The monster attacked them, and none of them escaped. They teleported back to the town since they died. Meng was annoyed, stating that monsters always appear in packs, but flee when they have little life left. His companion then told him he must reach level 3 to exit the game, but it was very hard. Another guy then stated that they needed to gather more people, as he believes that 10 might be enough to win. But then, one guy disagreed and stated that it probably won't work either, as he already saw a team of 10 people being massacred by a huge pack of monsters. Also, too many people will attract boss monsters, since there was a group of 40 people that attracted something called the Damned, which killed more than 30 of them with a single ability. The team who belittled Feng were now hopeless. The lady was afraid they would be trapped in this world forever if they didn't reach level 3. She proclaimed that they all got here after falling asleep. In other words, only their consciousness is here. And she's afraid that if they can't leave the game, their bodies will starve to death. She was annoyed, complaining that the game was hard. Her companion beside her reminded her that they already died 3 times, and they have less than 10 years of tradable life left. The lady then said they must not die again. She then checked the ranking, and saw that the player with the alias Shadow is leveling up fast. Because of that, he concludes that Shadow knows some method, so she wants to find a way for Shadow to get them to level 3 to leave the game. Help spread the word. If that Shadow guy gets us to level 3, when we return to reality, I'll give him 10 million in cash. She stated. But she doesn't think she can remain indifferent to 10 million. At this moment, Feng is still in the same area fighting the same monsters. He has killed so many monsters which gave him enough evolution points. He then used it and evolved his evolution Hand of Avarice. It is a jade grade from Platinum. This is an assassin skill that can be used on monster corpses, with a 110% to 160% chance of obtaining an additional loot drop. The additional loot has a 20% chance to increase its rarity by 1 level. For Feng, this effect is incredible, and he believes that if he keeps evolving the skill, it could reach 100 or even 200%. While thinking, a huge monster catches his attention. He was aware it was damned. It is a bronze-level monster boss. This monster was currently digesting life, advancing toward a silver-level boss. Since it was a lot, Feng concludes that this monster wiped out a group of 40 people. He checked his backpack, but unfortunately, he's already full so he cannot pick up anything even if he kills the monster. Since that's the case, he just decided to mark the spot on his map. He then activates his elite shadow while saying that the boss needs some time to level up first, and for him, he needs to empty his backpack again and then go back to this area and kill another boss. When he arrived at the safe town, the news about 10 million won was spread to everyone. The commoner players were sad believing that they could not leave this world anymore. Feng arrived in the middle. All eyes are on him. He ignored them and started selling. He put a note on his interface that equipment and skills were on sale for only 10 minutes. The people were curious when he showed up, and they were surprised that he was carrying 2 sets of bronze gear and still wanted to sell more. They then found out that Feng is number 1 on the leaderboard with the username Shadow. Now a lady walked toward Feng. At the same time, a guy was proclaiming that Shadow activates the hide face function to hide his identity. How much for this ice cone spell? The lady asked. Feng then replied that it cost 100 days of tradable life. On the other hand, he was thinking that this lady must be Grey Grows, currently ranked 11th in Shell Village, and who also activated a hide face function. The lady said that 100 days of life is too much, so she was hoping Feng would lower the price. Feng then explains that the common skill Ice Cone spell greatly increases the speed of monster elimination in the early stages for mages, so for him, 100 days is already cheaper. The lady didn't argue and just asked if she could pay with real-world money, but Feng told her to buy a tradable life from others if she had a lot of cash, and then make a deal with him, and if no one offered, he's willing to hold the item for her. The lady then told him to wait for a moment. She then turned around and asked her team's opinion. One guy said he doesn't have any objection since she's the one who helped them reach level 2. Another guy agreed with the first guy and proclaimed that with the help of the Ice Cone spell, their team could reach level 3 faster, and the important thing was to get out of the game first. The lady then decided to buy the item and asked her companions to transfer their tradable life to her, and she would give them money once they returned to the real world. She then looked back to Feng and made a deal with him. Feng at the same time was thinking that an entire level 2 team has killed at least 30 or 40 trackers, so he believes these players' tradable lifespan definitely exceeds 100 days. He then sold the item and received the payment, so he now has a total of 368 days of tradable life. After selling, Li, the player who was willing to pay 10 million won, went to him and asked him to help her reach level 3 for 10 million won in cash in the real world. The crowd was shocked. Feng, on the other hand, realizes that this lady is Zhang Li, the leader of a criminal gang in his past life, which was later wiped out by the authorities. Reports say that this lady used cash to buy a tradable life as bait, kidnapped many people to work for her, and killed those who disobeyed in real life. My father is the president of Zhang Industries. You can ask about whether I can pay or not, Li said. But of course, Feng rejected her offer. Li then told him that even if he was strong in this game, no one knew what was going on in this game. She also promised him that he would live like a king if he joined her. Still, Feng refused and told her not to interfere with his business if she was not going to buy. That is because he's aware that cash is useless soon since the universal currency will be a tradable life. What a trash. I'm doing you a favor by asking you to take me. If we were in reality, I'd teach you a lesson right now, Li proclaimed. Feng then replied, "One more word and I'll kill you until your life reaches 0. Li and her team were terrified and immediately ran away in fear. Feng then continued selling his items peacefully and sold everything. At this moment, no one knows that tradable life can extract skills into reality. No one knows that the godforsaken game will cause the order of reality to collapse. The legacy they once were proud of will soon become insignificant. Only one's own strength is the basis of everything. After running to escape from Feng, Li arrived somewhere else together with her companions. She was panting, and she was mad because Feng didn't just ignore her and also threatened her. Because of that, she plans to kill Feng in the real world. While resting, a guy calls her. He said his name is Mao Lijun, who is currently level 2 and knows some tricks for leveling up. He told the lady he could help her level 2 for only 10 million won. Li crossed her arms and asked Lijun what tricks meant to say. Lijun then said that he never shares this trick with anyone, but he will make an exception now since the one who asked is the lady. According to him, if someone wants to level up efficiently, they must put all 5 initial attribute points into agility. That way, their full sprint speed will be just fast enough to outrun crawlers. The lady was shocked upon hearing it. It turned out she already put her 5 initial points into strength. And now that she already confirmed that Lijun can help her level up, she accepted the offer. She was glad that she met Lijun since she really believed Lijun really knew what he was doing. But knowing that Lijun is not as strong as Shadow, she only offered him 5 million won, and she wants him to get her to level 3, then she will pay him once they return to the real world. Lijun instantly agreed with 5 million and stated that Shadow might be stronger than him, but he believes that Shadow had some brain issues for turning down a simple 10 million offer. Back to Feng, he went back to the area where he found the damned. He then confirmed that his conclusion was right. The boss monster has already evolved to Silver Tier. It's shrouded in gray mist and is still evolving. Feng was aware that the evolution from silver to gold would take at least 7 or 8 hours. But then, Feng is too lazy to wait, so he immediately attacks the damned using his stealth break strike. Feng deals so much damage causing the damned to screech in agony. Feng then used Shadow Sneak. Right now, he concludes that the HP of the damned silver bods is 2 to 3 times that of a bronze tier boss. The boss monster cast an attack, but before it released the attack, Feng attacked 3 venom darts. Still, the boss monster released its attack on Feng's location. It was too powerful, cutting the tree instantly. This curse master is a mage-type boss, and most of its skills are area attacks that deal high damage. After throwing a venom dart, Feng immediately backed off, barely escaping the boss monster's attack range. Had he been hit, he believes he'd be as good as dead with his current HP. The monster casts another skill and tries to attack Feng, but Feng successfully dodges. He was waiting until Stealth's cooldown ended, so he could launch an attack during a lull in the boss's assault. Immediately after, he needs to activate Stealth to exit its attack range. The monster was feeling the pain. Feng sees this as a sign to do his plan. He then charged at the monster and attacked. He deals vulnerable 659 damage using his stealth break strike. The boss monster's HP continuously dropped, so it turned around and ran away. Feng is now aware that it started to flee since its HP is nearly depleted. The boss monster was struggling to escape. Feng, on the other hand, was thinking that surrendering without resistance makes things so much easier for him. He then attacked the monster for the last time and killed it. The system then notified that he gained 1,800 experience points and reached level 5. He earned 4 evolution points and obtained 124 days of tradable lifespan. Feng was surprised that he leveled up 2 times and even got 4 evolution points. He then used his greedy hand and gained a total of 8 evolution points and another 248 days of tradable lifespan. Feng was happy that he received the bonus reward twice. So in short, the silver tier boss actually granted him a total of 12 evolution points and 372 days of tradable lifespan. The system window suddenly notices that the greedy hand extra effect has been triggered, and one of his loot items has been upgraded from silver tier to gold tier. Feng then checked the loot. It dropped 7 or 8 pieces of equipment, and now Feng's backpack only has 10 slots. He was hoping that the curse master would drop a storage ring or something so could get more slots of his loot. While opening one by one, he was shocked when he saw something. Back to Wang Meng's team, the Lady Prophet was glad that she came back to the town alive. They now reached level 3, and they thanked Meng for helping them. They cheered Meng, and Meng then told them that it was the result of all their hard work together. The lady suddenly regrets that she didn't add Feng to her friend list earlier. She concludes that it may be because she's muddy and Shadow despised that. One of her companions then said Shadow might have agreed to be friends with her if she had been wearing freshly dropped gear back then. While talking, a leaderboard update appeared on their interface. It was just a notification that Shadow had now reached level 5. Everyone was shocked and concluded that Shadow managed to kill a powerful boss, which is why he reached level 5 from level 3. One of Meng's companions then said, "We just hit level 3, and that guy's already at level 5. How are we supposed to live like this?" Meng then told him not to talk about it too much for now, but instead to return to reality and inform their family and friends about the godforsaken game. As per Meng, the world is bound to fall into chaos. At the very least, he wants to warn those close to them to be prepared. They all then log off since there was a log-out option in the system. When he woke up, he had a headache. He then heard voices saying he was now awake. His comrades are with him, and they immediately inform him that he turned semi-transparent. "Don't scare me, Brother Wang. I told you to rest yesterday. I came to keep an eye on that suspect for you," one guy proclaimed. Meng then told them to quickly gather everyone together since something major was happening. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment for another part, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Till next time.